Hello all, we shall be studying list manipulation in Python today. There are few basic operations which are performed on lists and we shall be looking at each one of them. As you all know, a list in Python is a collection of data within square brackets. All the elements in the list are separated by the comma operator, and lists in Python are mutable. That means that the elements inside the list can be changed or modified. These elements may be numeric or alphanumeric. So if you see in the examples here, list 1 is a list or collection of all integer values. List 2 is a collection of string values, and list 3 is mixed. It has integer, decimals and string. All three are valid lists in Python. In Python, we perform these three basic operations on list, that is traversal, inserting an element and deleting an element from list. All the remaining operations are generally a combination of these three only. So we'll be looking at the three operations one by one. Now, list traversal means that I am accessing each and every element of the list one by one. So list traversal can be done in two ways, using the membership operator in or using the range function. So here I've taken a list 1 as 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then I give for I in list 1 and print I. So this for loop will access each element of the list and then give an output like this. Similarly, I can use the range function, and here I've given len of list 1. This will pick up the length of the list. So range function will give values from 0 till length minus 1, and I have given print list 1 of I. Here I is the index value. As you all know, like strings, in lists we have forward indexing starting from 0 and backward indexing starting from minus 1, and that too from the end of the list. So here I am, since range will be starting from 0, this will be picking up the forward indexing and then displaying all the elements of the list. So this will also give the same output. So these two methods are available. You can use any one. Now, if I want to insert an element in a list, it can be done in the following places. That is the end of the list and at a specified position in the list. We'll be looking at both of them. If I want to insert an element at the end of the list, I can do so with the help of the append function. So here I've accepted a number from the user, and using append function, I add this number to the end of the list. So here you can see I've taken 540 as the number from the user and then added it to the end of the list. Another method is also available where that the number that I have accepted from the user, I convert it into a list by placing it inside square brackets. So num1, that is the number that I have accepted from the user, is converted into a list by placing it in square brackets, and then I join it or concatenate it with the original list. So if I've given here list 1 plus is equal to num1, and num1 is within square brackets. So here if you can see the previous list, and I have added 16 to it, so I get a new list here. So both these methods are available and you can use any one. In order to insert an element at a specified position in the list, this requires a little bit of programming. So we need two things for this: the element that is to be inserted and the position at which I want to insert the element. So here I am accepting these two values from the user. So I have given the element to be inserted is 55, and the position, that is I'm starting from index value 0. The position at which the element has to be inserted, or the index value at which the element has to be inserted, is 4. So this is my list. Now using the append function, I add none to the end of the list. So none is an empty value. It is added to the end of the list. So I'm creating something like an empty space at the end of the list. And here if you see, the size of the list has also increased by 1. Now, the logic that I am following is Starting from the position where I want to insert the element, I start shifting the elements one by one. So here I've taken for I in range length minus 1, length will contain the length of the list. So the length of the list is 8, so length minus 1 will be 7. So length minus 1 is positioned here, and pause is positioned here at 4, index value 4, which has been given by the user. And I'm moving backwards, so I'm giving my step value as minus 1. So starting from length minus 1 till pause minus 1, because we never go to the end position in a for loop, I will shift each value one step forward. So here if you see, I've given list 1 of I is equal to list 1 of I minus 1. So list 1 of I at this iteration is 7. This will have the value of list 1 of I minus 1, that is 6. So list 1 of 7, index value 7, will get the value at index position 6. So 37 will be shifted to index value 7. So if you see here, there is a duplication of 37. Now at the next iteration, we have index value 6, which will get the value which is present at index value 5. So 67 will shift one place towards the right. So you can see this here. Similarly, when we come to this position, that is index value 5, this will get the value at index position 4. So 25 will shift here, and the loop will break here because we do not go to index value 4. So if you see, at the end of the loop, we have this list available to us. So here if you can see, I have given the print statement that after shifting elements, the list is, and 25 is now duplicated, and at this position where I have encircled it, we need to add the new element. So this can be done by giving a simple statement, list 1 of pause, that is list 1 of index value 4 will be equal to the value that is entered by the user. So now when I print the new list, I will see that 55 has now got inserted inside the list. So this is how you will be inserting an element at a specified position in a list. Now let us come to deletion. In order to delete elements from a list, you have lots of functions available. If you want to delete all elements, we can give the clear function. If we want to delete an element by index value, we can use the pop function. If we know the value of the elements, then we can use the remove function. We also have the del function if we want to provide an index range or an index slice. So using the del function, we can also delete more than one element. Let us look at examples and see how this can be done. Now, I want to see how we can use the del function in order to delete elements. I have taken this simple list here and printed it. Now, if I give del list 1 3, so I want to delete the value at index position 3. So if you see here, 19 has now got deleted, and the length of this list has also decreased by 1. Now, if I want to delete more than one value, so I can give a range, the index slicing here. So I give del list 1 to 4. So it will start at index position 2 and go till 4 minus 1, that is 3. So I have 0, 1, 2, that is I'll start with 12 and go till 3, so 22. So 12 and 22 will get deleted. So when I have printed list 1 here, if you can see, these two, 12 and 22, these two elements have now got deleted. Now, if I want to delete the entire list, I give the command del list 1. So the entire list gets deleted from the memory. Now, if I give a print list 1, if you can see here, I have got an error here that name list 1 is not defined, because list 1 is no longer there in the memory. So once you delete the list, it gets removed from the memory also. So let us see how to use the pop or the remove function. In order to use the pop function, I will be using the index value. So here if I give list1 dot pop 4, this will be deleting the value present at the index position 4. So if you see here, I've given print list1. So the element 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 22 got deleted. So if you see here, 22 is no longer there in the list. Now, if I give list1 dot pop and I do not provide any index position, so the value at the end of the list, that is the last element, will get deleted. So if you see here, once I've printed this list again, the last element, that is 47, got deleted. Now, if I want to use remove, remove will not be using any index values. I will have to provide the actual values of the elements which I want to remove from the list. So if I give list1 dot remove 19, so 19 was found in the list and now it got removed. If I give a value which is not present in the list, like I gave list1 dot remove 29, this is not present in the list, so you get an error message. So be very careful while using the remove function. I hope this helps you handle all kinds of list manipulations. That will be all. Thank you.